ever wanted to learn secrets from a baker? This week, I welcome Suzy Gazzellone. She went from corporate banking to entrepreneur and baker. She runs a successful baking business called Suzy's Cake Angels. You will absolutely love her delicious story. And if you're ready, let's go. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Maverick Makers podcast. I am so delighted to welcome Suzy Gazzellone. She is from Suzy's Cake Angels. She is the baker, artist, and author of the cookbook Secrets from a Baker. I am so excited to welcome her to the show. So, welcome.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely. And I just want to quickly tell the viewers and listeners a quick anecdote about how we met, which this is what's amazing about the universe is that you always have to be open to opportunities. So both our sons play at the same soccer academy, and a fellow mom happened to introduce us. And then I just started asking questions and digging and hit it off. And I was like, Suzy, you have to be on my podcast. So there you go.
And I said, absolutely, I am in. We connected so well. So, absolutely.
Absolutely. I feel like I've known you for years, even though it's been 3 hot minutes. Well,
Those are the
welcome.
best connections, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And it is about I'm all about the universe. I'm all about things coming into alignment and synergy. And that's how I live my life. So I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's start and let's talk about who are some of your favorite Mavericks?
Okay, my favorite, I know I was thinking about this. I would say Julia Child would be kind of in line to um, the industry I'm in, but also it's so funny because prior to even going on this journey, I remember watching her movie and I thought to myself, like, how inspiring. What an amazing woman. Like, just, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this contrary to any, contrary to people's opinions and what they thought and, didn't think. And she went off and she did it. Like, she's very inspiring, didn't take no for an answer. She's very natural, very authentic, right? She started later on in life, which I found so admirable. You
Mhm.
know, age is no limit. If you're passionate about something, go for it. Don't worry about time or anything like that. Just do it. So I would say she's my all-time favorite Maverick.
It's a great one. Yeah, no, she is. She really made something of herself, and she was such a pioneer, and people today still are just enamored by her cooking, by her presence, by like everything. She's fantastic. And let's move on to your own Maverick journey. How did you go? When I read your bio, I was like, wow, this is like super intriguing. How did you go from banking to baking? I know there's lots of steps in between, but take us through it.
So, baking's always been something kind of in the background that I've had. I used to bake with my mother as a child. At the time, I didn't realize, but I kind of fell into baking. I would fall into baking whenever I was really stressed out, like, with work or school or life itself. And so I was at a point in my life, in my career. I was really successful in my career, which is great, but I wasn't happy in what I was doing. And it was kind of like I was in a limbo. Like, I was being offered these opportunities, but I was also being blocked because they had other things in mind for me. But what they had in mind for me was not aligned to what I was feeling. And I remember feeling there's got to be more to life. Like, it's this 9 to 5 isn't feeling, it's not resonating with me. And then I was baking a lot because obviously I was really stressed out. I was so unhappy. I couldn't figure out what my next steps were. And at the time I was bringing it to the branch. I was working at a local branch, and a lot of the staff was like, "This is great. Like, we're loving this. Keep baking. You should really consider doing something in baking." And I would laugh. I'm like, haha, not happening. This is a completely different industry. I don't even know where to start. But as time went on and it became harder and harder and harder to be in that place and do what I was doing, I kind of explored it, and I took a leap of faith. I decided, you know what? it really terrifies me, it scares me, but it felt right. So I just kinda jumped into the unknown and said, "Let's see what happens." And so here I am.
Wow. What did that day 1 look like when you, like, quit the job and just was like, "Okay, I'm gonna bake."
I'm getting emotional now just thinking about it because 'cause I'm literally placing myself back at that time. I was also having a hard time conceiving my son, Mateo, now. So, it felt so scary, so terrifying, but at the same time, I was so calm because I thought to myself, "Okay, the most important thing right now is I wanna, build my family and, I'm gonna take a couple of months and, by the time because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, because I wasn't conceiving. So, by the time they figured out, probably about 3 months, because everything was back then I had everything so planned. So I'm like, "Okay, that's 3 months," and I conceived 2 weeks later, and I don't know, it just one thing happened, like, right after the other, but just so fluidly. I opened up this Facebook page. I was quite resistant at first because 'cause I'm like, "Ah, I don't know." Thought, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it and see what happens." Started getting busier and busier and busier, and I'm now pregnant and busy working on orders and then through the people that I knew, they were like, "Hey, Sue, can you bake me a cake? Can you do, like, a corporate order?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Like, "I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I'll figure it out."
That's back to the universe. It just falls into place. It was the meant to be.
Absolutely. I truly believe in that. Like, sometimes, you think your life is gonna be one way, right? Like, I had it all planned out. I went to school for business. I was gonna study HR. I studied HR. I even got my certification in it. Like, my career looked like I'm climbing the ladder in corporate HR, and it went a completely different direction.
So how do you think that learning and that background, that business background, that HR background, the bank, like, how do you think that helped you lined up for everything you have now in this amazingly successful business?
It was fantastic. The education part of it was great because obviously, like, you have the theory behind and you know what you need to do. So that's helped me with my business a lot. The practical in working at the bank and, doing roles in management and that sort of thing really helped me learn to connect to people on different types of people, connect with different personalities, understand what makes people tick kind of thing, really understanding their needs, their wants, and using that knowledge and then now approaching it in a very connective way through my business. Like, I would consider myself very personable. Like, I care about people very deeply. I've always been that person. And even when I was in my management roles, my style of management was very like, tell me what you want, what it looks like for you, and I will help you get there. Like, what makes you want to get out of bed and go and do it and gives you that passion? And that's how we kind of work through roles because a lot of the times in companies, they're like, "Oh, the next step is this one." But if it's not resonating with you and you're not feeling it, it's not going to work. I mean, perfect example. I was doing a role that the people management part of it, I loved so much because I just wanted to see them do well. And that's what made me feel amazing too. But in terms of the other aspect of it, where I wasn't passionate about, it's just bringing me down. Like, my soul was just, I felt like I was getting crushed, right? So, it helped me really understand people on a deeper level and connect, I would say.
Hmm. All transferable skills. And it is so strange how you think you're someplace and then you end up somewhere else. But I feel like it is meant to be. It always is.
You know what? It was so great. I don't regret my time there. It took whatever time it did, but truly feel that it was something that I needed to do, that I had to have the experience in order to get into this part of my life.
Hmm. Beautiful. And then after all this baking, you decided, hey, I'm going to write a cookbook. So, how did all that come to be? And what was it like creating this cookbook, which is amazing?
You know what? I I really how do I say this? I obviously really love people, and a lot of the times I get like, I can never do this. Like, I can never bake the way you bake, or, I'm not a baker. And I truly, truly, truly believe, and I've told you this too, you can do it. You really can. The issue I find is that as a society, we overcomplicate things. Everything is like, you need 25 steps to do like one. No. If we just kept it so simple and basic ingredients, like we can do it. And so that's what motivated me to do the book because I was getting a lot of that. And I'm like, but no, I know you could, like, I really feel like this is something you could do. You just need it simplified. So, I was in a meditation and I thought to myself, like, I was just sitting there in meditation and that came up. And I thought, so me write a book. Who am I? I'm like, I could bake, but I'm me write a book. But I've always had this ability to even put certain ingredients together and it worked. Like, it's so weird. I never liked science in school, but somehow I really love science and this is scientific, so it really works for me. But so anyways, I came out of my room and I told my husband, I'm like, I think I'm gonna write a book. Like, I really want people to feel confident and that they can do it. And he's like, yeah, I already know how you are. When you say you think you are, you already have a plan. I'm like, oh yeah, I already know the chapters. We're doing muffins, we're doing pancakes, we're doing cakes, everything. And so that's how it was born. It was from, just really listening to the people around me and really wanting to share this passion that I have and the confidence that I have in it, in other people's abilities. Like, no, you can do it too. So that's where Secrets from a Baker was born. I was like, I'm going to create something with basic recipes that you have in your cupboard so you don't have to go travel to any of these stores, these specialty stores and buy special flour. And we're going to use the basic stuff you have in your kitchen and we're going to make it happen.
I love that, and I love, yeah, that you have faith in me that I can bake, and I
Oh,
think
you're going to bake. Even if I come over, you are going to do it. I'm just going to watch you.
right. I would love that because I need the coach in the corner. I have, like, big pressure. I think that's probably what it is. So my mom's family owns one of the most famous bakeries in Toronto, and it's called Harvard Bakery. And, um, my grandmother was a heck of a baker, and my mom's a baker, and I don't know, I burn peanut butter cookies. To be honest, I haven't really tried. So I just like barely mastering cooking. So I'll get there and then we'll get to baking. But I love this idea.
Yeah, it's just honestly, that's what I hear a lot, and it's like the comparison part of it. It's like, just do you, don't worry, we'll start something simple like, a muffin, and you just kind of throw it together. It'll work as long as you follow for the most part the steps, right? And there's not a lot of steps to things. For the most part, it's just wet, dry, and mixing it together, not over mixing.
Hmm. I love that you're simplifying that. So then that's probably what it is that people think, and I even think like baking is about time. I know it is a bit about timing, but it's timing and it's this ingredient, that, and that the fact that you're simplifying it, you're making it accessible to everybody, which is fantastic. I also wanted to tell you kudos to you because there are not many people who actually finish a book. So again, for example, myself, I've said I've wanted to write a book so many times. I've written a few pages and then years pass and then I come back to it. But the fact that you, and I forget what the exact stat is, but it's pretty slim of the amount of people that finish and publish a book and that you've put it out there. And this is something that you promote on television and radio and whatnot. That's huge for you. So congrats. And that's amazing. It really is.
I never I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be writing one. But you know what? It was probably one of my greatest gifts. Like, it had so much more meaning to me than just it being a book, so and I call it my baby. This is my second baby. 9 months. I wrote it in 9 months. I was very determined.
That's insane, and that was writing, photographing. Holy moly.
I
Wow.
did not sleep for 9 months, but I was very determined. I had a date in mind, and I thought to myself, "This is so much more than what it is," and I really just felt so connected to it. So it goes back to that fluidity. It just happened. Like, the recipes were coming. I'm like, I'm gonna try this and I'm gonna do that. I spent countless days working on it and still taking orders because my clients are my number one. So I would not compromise on that. But yeah, I when I look back, I think, wow, that was a wild time in my life. But
Yeah, wow. And what's the feedback been about the cookbook?
really good. You know what? It really warms my heart because the feedback is exactly what my intentions were around the book. Every everything is simple, it's easy to make. I'm not looking for different ingredients, and it actually looks like the picture. That was one thing too that I was very determined on. So a couple of things that I had, like certain expectations. The book had to have a picture for every recipe. I'm that person, like, if you're gonna ask me to do a recipe, I need to know what it kinda looks like because there's so much like, baking is such it can be an art, but also, like, you use all your senses for baking, right? Touch, smell, the look of it. Even just looking, you can see, something's off, you know? So there's that was important to me, like, what you see in the picture is what it actually looks like. No editing on the pictures, nothing. I kept it very what you see that's I don't want you to think that it's gonna make it look that much prettier, and then you go and bake it, and it doesn't look like that. No. Because I don't like that for myself either. So I was very keen on making sure that the pictures match the actual what it actually looked like. Um, but yeah, the feedback's been great that the people will try it and then they'll message me and they'll say, "Oh my god, Sue, it actually looks like the picture," or "It tastes so great." Or sometimes they'll say, "It's not as great as yours." I'm like, "Oh my god, please stop. It probably looks even better than mine." And they'll send me a picture because to me, I think it's so important. The fact that you picked up the book, number 1, is so huge because you don't have to, and I don't expect that. But then when you bake it and then you share, that totally makes my day. I'm like, "This is beautiful. Keep doing it."
Wow. Why the title Secrets from a Baker?
So that kinda came to me in, like, the middle of the night. I'm like, "Oh my god, I think I got my book name." More so because people feel so intimidated by baking, right? Like, kind of like what you mentioned, you have these people who that are great bakers and stuff, and it really doesn't have to be, right? Sometimes when you just need things to be simple, and the reason why we get intimidated is because we overcomplicate things already in our mind. So I thought to myself, well, I'm simplifying the book, but also in every page, every recipe, I offer tips. So I'll offer one tip on each recipe, something that's really important to that recipe that'll help it be that much more successful, let's say. Because I know it'll be successful, but if you do that little thing, for sure, that's guaranteed. So the tips I thought were very important just to help people out because I don't know. I feel like a lot of the times too, people feel like there's all these hidden secrets, and that I'm like, no, I'm gonna share everything and you take what you want and you do what you'd like with it and it'll work. Yeah.
Oh, so speaking of secrets, if someone was just learning to bake, like I would say I'm in that category. What are some of those secrets?
So I would say the most important thing to do is always read a recipe first. And I'm very much about like the universe. If it connects with you and it resonates with you, then do it. Like, if you're feeling like, "Oh, I don't know," don't because already that energy is already off, and then, it's there's so much that goes into baking, like, out what you don't see, right? That love and that passion, and even if you don't have that love and passion, but that desire to do it is still as important. So, I would say look at the recipe first, see if you resonate, it resonates with you, read it through. It's so important to read through a recipe because obviously, a lot of times, if you're just quickly reviewing or you don't look, you'll get to a point where you're missing something, an ingredient, or you're missing it, or you don't understand a step, and now you got to stop. And sometimes that can impact the success of the baked good. I would say also set up all your ingredients ahead of time. Room temperature is key. Pretty much, unless it indicates it should be cold, all your ingredients should always be room temperature because it just contributes to the science part of it, the success of the baked good. Have your equipment ready, preheat your oven, and that's pretty much it. Like, you don't
Those are good secrets because I had no idea about the room temperature, but that makes a lot of sense. So that's amazing. What's your most favorite thing to bake?
Okay, that's a hard question because I love baking in general, and I know it's, like, oh, so cliche, she loves it. No, I genuinely do love it for a number of reasons. It's very therapeutic for me, so, again, obviously, when I am stressed, I bake, and even sometimes within my work, there are moments that I am stressed, so I will, like, literally whip up a batch of, muffins or cupcakes and send it off to school with Mateo, but Um, I love all of it, but for different reasons. So, for example, I love doing the celebration cakes because it allows for me to express my creativity, to process my emotions through it, right? Like I can just kind of feel into what it is that, whether it's a communion or a birthday cake and like it's like a Moana cake, then I'm like, "Ooh, that inner child, that little girl, like, okay, let's do the pinks and the blues and the sparkle." So it allows me to express my creativity. And then I also like those cozy bakes, like the coffee cakes, or I love scones or scones. And mostly because I'm all about bringing people together, and those type of bakes allow me to say, "Hey, I just baked a batch of scones. Clearly, I can't eat the whole thing by myself. You wanna come over for a coffee?" And usually that happens. They're like, "Oh, you got scones? I'm coming."
I love it. Oh, that's so fun, amazing. What do you think the biggest lessons that you've learned as an entrepreneur?
You learn a lot as an entrepreneur. Um, I would say my biggest and deepest lesson in doing this has been, if it scares you, you gotta go into it. Like, when I decided to leave my career, full-time career, benefits, all that, to do something that I had no concept of aside from following a recipe and it working out for the most time, but no knowledge of the industry, anything like that, I was completely terrified. But I knew that it was gonna be one of my biggest lessons in my life. I don't believe in, like, failures and things like that because I feel like even when things are challenging and they're not working out, it's either a redirection or you just had to learn something deeper about yourself to get to the next part. And so for me, I always say, and I live by this, I tell Mateo all the time, if it scares you, Mateo, you go right into it. Because you know what? That's where your biggest lesson is going to be. That's where you're going to learn the most about yourself. And you're going to turn around and you're going to say, I'm so happy I did that because I learned this. And then I perfectionism is another one because I'm very much like everything needs to look perfect. So this has really taught me doesn't always have to be perfect. It just needs to be real. And I think that's one thing that I've worked on more for myself, my authenticity. Like, I'm a real person just because I bake these beautiful cakes, or, I can write a book and I can create these beautiful, tasty treats doesn't mean that I haven't made my share of mistakes. Doesn't mean that sometimes I'm not breaking down and crying because it's not working out the way I wanted to. Doesn't mean that I have a vision and of a cake, for example, and now I'm creating it and it's not exactly what I look like. And I'm being challenged by my inner self, like, but Sue, it should look like this, and it's not looking like this, but the beauty lies in the imperfection. And that is a deep lesson that I've really had to embrace. And I'm still working on it because some days I'm like, it's not the way I want it, but it works.
That's a very important lesson, and being in content creation, the same thing is putting myself out there. Is this perfect? Is this video? Da 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 da. It's the same thing, and at some point, you just have to let go and say, "Well, that's it."
I did the best that I could. This is an expression of what I understood, and
As long as you're being real,
Mhm.
it's all that matters. So, what do you think your biggest success has been to date?
um, I've had a lot of, like, I guess, successes. I would say, like, the book was a big one. Being on television's been another one. I never, again, it was one of those things, like, I never thought I'd be doing something like that, but here I am and I'm doing it and it's awesome. Like, I really love it. It's just another outlet for me to express myself, put myself out there, learn more about who I am, and, like, spread love and joy through my baked goods. Um, but I think my biggest success, and I'm probably gonna get really emotional with this one, is teaching my son that, you know what, no matter what it is that you wanna do, if you have that heart, that passion, that love, that joy for something, go out, go get it. Like, do what you need to do to kind of make that happen. It's never too late, you know, no dream is out of reach. You can do anything you put your mind to it. Even the things that you don't think you can do, if you really wanna do it, go explore it. And I think this just, like, being that example of being someone who had it all together, for example, or looked like it on paper, was not happy
Mm,
and knew that this could not be how life should be lived, and went out and explored it. And it wasn't a very linear journey. It wasn't easy. And I had a lot of cries and, sometimes feeling like I just want to quit. But, I learned so much about myself.
it's amazing.
That's a big lesson, learning more about who you are and becoming who you want to be.
Mhm. I think those are great words of wisdom. Absolutely, I totally agree. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Let's do this.
Whatever comes top of mind, just say it. No wrong answers. Here we go.
Okay.
Fantasy or reality?
Fantasy or reality? Oh, fantasy. I'm totally fantasy. I am
Absolutely.
a Pisces through and through. I love my fantasy.
Amazing. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. If anything you need to know about me, that is the way to my heart. That book has a good chunk, I was gonna say predominantly, but not predominantly, but a good chunk of chocolate recipes in there because I love chocolate.
I gotta get my hands on this book then. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Okay.
I love
Okay.
me some dark chocolate. I like the balance.
Okay, good. Fame or fortune?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Fame.
Okay.
You want to know why?
Yeah, I do.
I feel like in something like this, for example, the world can be such a tough place and a hard place. And with fame, you're able to showcase more love and joy. You can use it for good things, right? Not necessarily. Yeah, it's a great platform. That's it. That's the exact
Hmm.
terminal.
Love it. That's amazing. What is your greatest gift?
Mateo, that kid has taught me more about myself than myself.
Beautiful. It's funny. My mom, my entire life, has always said, and I used to like laugh at her because she said it when we were little. She's like, "You and your brother, you're my crown jewels." Always. And I was like, I don't understand what she's saying. I finally realized the same thing. I'm blessed to have 2 kids, really blessed, and I realized, like, that couldn't be more true.
I strongly believe that they are here to teach us. Like we guide them, yes, but they really teach us a lot about ourselves.
Hmm. Love that. Amazing. If you could bake for any famous person, who would you like it to be?
Oh my goodness, I do not know. This is a great one. Oh, I don't know.
How about Miss Julia Childs?
Oh, right. I mean, yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, I'd be really untamed. I probably was shaking the whole time. I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best. That would be fantastic because I love French desserts too. I'm a huge croissant fan too.
Oh,
Clearly, it's that I love a lot of desserts, but yeah, that would be really cool.
okay. I like it. Amazing. What ingredient should be in every baker's kitchen?
Oh my goodness. Eggs? I'm gonna say eggs because you pretty much use eggs in everything.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, there's actually a few that you definitely need to make something happen, but eggs is one of them, yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite book?
Oh, my favorite book. I just finished reading Untamed.
Okay.
Go with, her last name is Doyle. Oh, what's her name?
It's
I
okay.
have it here. You should look it up, but it was a great book because where I'm at in terms of my personal journey right now, I could connect a lot to it. Like, she talks about her experience as a mother, as a friend, as a sister, as a partner. And I thought to myself, I found myself taking lots of pictures of like lines that she would talk about based on her emotions and her ability to express herself. And I thought to myself, wow, like that's exactly how I feel sometimes. So it was a really good book that I was reading. Totally off of baking, but
That's okay. That's what makes you. I'll definitely look that up. What's the best piece of life advice you'd like to share?
I would love to share follow your dreams, be kind, be loving to other people. Like I'm I'm a big believer in spreading love and joy. And I feel like through my baking, I'm able to do that because a lot of the times, obviously, when I'm baking stuff, it's for great, celebrations, whether it's a communion, a baptism, or a wedding, whatever it may be. And I often tell people, Mike, I know I have to get paid because obviously it's a business. And in order for me to continue doing what I'm doing, I need money to keep it going. But my biggest payment is the expression on people's faces when they get to look at what I've created. Because right away, that love, that like excitement, they're like, oh my goodness, this is better than I thought it was, or this is exactly what I envisioned it to be. That is enough for me. I feel like the world is already a tough enough place to be in, and we're all going through life and having our challenges that the kinder we are to one another, the more joy we try and bring to one another, the better it is just to kind of do life all together because we are all one and we're all in this together. So we might as well try and make the best of it.
Hmm, amazing. I love that advice. How do you wanna change the world?
I want to change the world by spreading more love and joy.
Okay.
That I feel is my biggest thing. I love bringing people together. I love being around people. I love celebrating people. My friends often joke, like, she will find an excuse to celebrate any little thing. But I think that it's so important. I feel it's so important. Why not?
Absolutely. Last question. What's next?
What's next? I have a few things in mind. Uh, Perhaps another book. I'm
Mm.
working on something else.
Wow.
And this time I'm having someone else with me along that journey. So I don't want to disclose yet because I think with time it'll be kind of cool to see who it is. And yeah, I think I'm going to continue doing the whole TV thing because again, it's such a great outlet to continue spreading some love and joy and, you know, being recognized, for all these things that you can, building confidence, letting people know that you can do this yourself and it can, whether it's something for you to fulfill you or for therapy or just to do with your family, your friends, anything.
Well, this conversation was all about love and joy, and thank you so much for bringing so much to it. I really appreciate it. It was so great to get to know you better. I love your enthusiasm for baking, and I can't wait to make you come over to my house and help me.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. I am always telling people, guys, you want to bake? Let's just, I'm gonna come over. You come over. Hey, you can come over too.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Susie, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Oh, I can't wait to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Maverick Makers podcast is sponsored by Maverick Makers Content Creation Collective. We fuel your content pipeline through video, photography, design, and editorial. Let's connect to your audiences and make more sales. Learn more at maverickmakersco.com.